I thought it said park closed. It said park closed between 9 and sunrise. At night, is what they mean. Yeah, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. is what they're saying. Still running on the reserve. So there's the San Fernando Valley. And there's the road. It keeps on going around. Back down now. Now it's heading back downhill into the valley itself. All these little houses up here in front, that's, you know, along the edge of that house. I mean, at the edge of the highway. Not too bad. And there it is. That's what a cloudless sky looks like, by the way. Some smog, but no clouds. Pretty amazing. Looks quite green. We had a little bit of a storm a few weeks ago, and all the plants are like, oh, thank you. Everything started growing. Now it looks like a little forest over there. All the local trees are sprouting out new little leaves. Yeah. Yeah, it was really weird. It was actually water falling from the sky. I mean, Jesus, talk about bizarre. What the hell? Almost never heard of that stuff. You know, it's one of those things where there's actually kids going, what? I never heard of that. You're kidding, Grandpa. No, actually water used to fall from the sky, it's true. I know it sounds weird now, but it happened all the time. Fuel down. Ignition. Don't hit me. Thank God she avoided a head-on collision right there. I guess this red bright jacket was a little too much camouflage. She couldn't quite figure out what was happening. Uh-oh, right turn only. So how do I get home? Oh, that's why. It's kind of hairy there. Okay, I'll just go down to the next good stop, I guess, and turn around there. There's actually some of those little houses I just showed you are neighborhoods, so there will be a little place to turn around. I mean, those people can't be like, I gotta go down all the way and then I gotta turn around. You know, they have to be able to turn back in this way. You know, okay, so when in doubt, enjoy it and brake before the turn, and then stay on the throttle once you're in the turn. But you don't have to accelerate. You can just leave it at where it is. You don't have to actually add throttle continuously. That's something a lot of people don't say. They say, oh yeah, you put the throttle on, you twist the wrist as you're in the turn. But they don't tell you that you don't have to just keep adding it on, going faster and faster and faster. Which is even harder when, of course, it's a, there you go. Harder when it's a decreasing radius turn. Please drive friendly. Okay. don't have to keep accelerating. You can just stay on it. You don't want to just, you know, let go of it. That would be a disaster. Never do that. I mean, unless you really know what you're doing and it's appropriate, that's fine. No matter what, everything everyone tells you, by the way, it basically, in life, thinking from an older guy, at best, it's a guideline. And the best things are mathematically true. Okay, those are rules. You know, again, 1 + 2 = 3. That's all true. But when you get down to too many variables, like you're on a bike and you're on a turn and, you know, I did such and such and it worked, so you do the same thing when you're on turns. Well, it's a different turn, it's a different road, it's a different machine. You can't, everything's a guideline. This could work, you know, and just kind of collect different people's stories and opinions. You don't have to argue with them. Nah, because someone else told me blah blah blah, and that means that's true and you're wrong. No, it doesn't. It means that there's a couple ways to fix the problem. That's all. You don't have to be problem. You don't have to be upset about it or start a fight. There's more than one answer. There's way, you know, millions and an infinite number of paths to the top of the mountain, kind of thing. So there's no reason to get all excited about it and upset and arguing with people. Totally unnecessary drama. I'm also not crazy about taking these turns too fast, because this is a public road and this actually looks pretty good compared to what I've seen. Like I said, I've never actually driven this on a motorcycle until today, but sometimes it's, you know, huge chunks missing, giant holes, gravel coming down from the mountain, etc. A truck drives in there, pulls out, drags some dry gravel around. It ends up being something you can slip on, but you don't know. It's just a public road, you know. It's not a well-maintained track. It's not a private track. Someone walks around with a paintbrush and sweeps off all the little gravel for you. This is just a public road. I would imagine the a metaphor for that might be something like, if you go to your cleanest relative's house, your mom, your aunt, your uncle, whatever it is, or that's you maybe, you feel like, I know this is clean because I trust them, and or I did it myself, and I could eat off the floor here, no problem, you know, because I know it's clean. That's private. Now, this is a public road, so imagine is there any public bathroom you would be willing to eat off the floor of, just blind? Your first time there, you're just going to go in there and eat off the floor? Probably not. Is it still functional? Sure, still gets the job done. But I wouldn't do that. That's a little too trusting for me. So you decide, you know, what suits you. But that's kind of how I feel about it. Now that I've driven this once so far, up and down, I feel like this is actually pretty decent, and it's a nice little run. I wouldn't mind doing it again to get better at it as I get more comfortable with it. But no matter how nice the pavement is today, there's no guarantee that it's going to stay like that forever. You know, next week a big truck comes in, drags gravel across the road again. They park on the side and do their thing. Who knows? Someone has a breakdown on the side of the road and spills oil everywhere. Who knows? It's public. Anything can happen. Totally out of your control. Your own home, you know no one's going to go in there and make a mess of the bathroom unless you know about it. But a public bathroom, you have no idea what's going on in here. And maybe sometimes you don't want to know. But anyway, that's how I feel about speeding around canyon roads right now. Also, of course, my skill level is not very good. I'd say my skill level is quite low. Well, to, you know, step over the edge of that envelope. I don't mind learning, taking my time. I want this to be a long, enjoyable process, basically. And the longer the better, frankly. Never-ending learning, that's perfectly fine with me. I prefer that. I never want to stop learning, period. But I'm not really in a big rush. There's a sign we just passed that said horse crossing, so, you know, who knows? I'm on the iron horse and they're on the organic protein horse. You don't know what's going to happen. So, you know, I just take my time and enjoy the ride. There's just a mirror. A little, like, hand yoga there. Gotta get the mirror over. It's getting worse. Seems like not doing anything hasn't improved it. So I guess I'm going to have to intervene. Lost the old wrench. Tighten her up. Looks like not doing anything and ignoring it hasn't helped at all. Another thing about the riding tech, like, you know, don't lean on your handlebars and hold with your knees and all that and look ahead, is that it gives you something to do besides panic. Because now you're focused, you have something to do. It's occupying your mind with a direction of a solution to getting down safely or going wherever you're doing safely. So I'm not worried about, oh shit, the turn was so fast or whatever. I'm thinking, I want to turn right there, and I'm watching that spot. I'm not worried about other stuff. So it occupies your mind with something positive as opposed to just, you know, being afraid. And that's a much better deal. That's cool. There's a mountain there. Big giant rock. Big grandfather rock. Hey look, there's a long string behind me. Hey, I'm following this guy. It's not my fault. Don't blame me, guys. They're like, we know how to get down. Please shut up. Go. Actually, he's not that close, so I guess I'm alright. That's funny, when I came up here, there was a huge line. I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be a bitch getting out. And I come back and there's nobody here. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. Now look at that. That is fucking incredible. I can feel the wind. That's Santa Monica over there, wrapping around to Marina del Rey and over beyond Palos Verdes. That's, I think that little island there in the middle is Catalina. And that big mountain is Palos Verdes. You can see an airplane just crossing that telephone pole, or electrical pole, whatever. That's coming from LAX. I thought it was the weight. I didn't know that. I think mine are... oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Because we're going to be here all day with all these motorcycles in front. Here we go. Right into traffic. Go ahead. I don't know what you're doing. I wouldn't do it in my speed. And not with these guys riding my ass or maybe doing something dumb. Because I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they're probably fine. I'm not saying they're going to be dumb. I just want to make sure that I know what's going on. Sometimes you give, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt with the idea of they're not necessarily being stupid. Mostly for, I'm talking about four wheels though. But they just don't know what's about to happen. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who you're approaching. And then they just pull out because they think it's okay. You know, if they knew you were there, they wouldn't have done it, but they have no idea. So I like to let people kind of make sure that they're not going to do it. Like, this guy can't turn in over here now. So that means it's okay for me to get in between if there's room. I'm not going to do it if it's unsafe. So anyways, I just aim for, you know, where it's open. Make sure it's a safe place, and then I aim for where I can fit. If anyone slams on the brakes, I already got my target. I'm going in between. I'm not running into anything. As you can see, I probably a little too quick. That's another thing, by the way. I should put in the first video, if this is still the first video. These cameras, this GoPro cameras is what I'm using, and the lens is extremely wide angle, so you can see everything, you know, really wide angle. But that also means the cost of that is massive distortion, and distortion is both visually and in the sense of speed. These poles up on the edge of the frame, as you see them fly by, they're not bent. They're straight. So that means massive distortion, you know. The image is not true. It's the poles aren't bent. And also things that look way farther away than they appear in real life at a certain point, beyond, like, let's say where my arms are, or let's say where the headlight would be, maybe. Beyond that, it starts to get weird, way on the front tire. And closer than that, like let's say the mirrors, things start to look way closer than they really are. So when you see someone lane splitting with these cameras, not just what I just did, but anybody, they're not that close as it appears. Just a little heads up, you know, they're not showing you an example of, hey, you can get, you know, 3 millimeters away from the car. If you're that close, I think you're too close and you really shouldn't be doing it. In my personal opinion is you should only do it if you can do it without stopping and putting your foot down, and without having to weave and knit your mirrors in and out of the car's mirrors. close, you really shouldn't be doing it. It's just inconsiderate, I think, at that point. Because if you have a car, or you just have your bike, it's fine. Do you want a lot of other people touching it, walking right up to it with sharp objects and possibly scratching it? Does that make you feel good? It's exactly what people think when they're in their cars and some idiot flies by on a bike and they're like, fuck, you know. They're not mad that you're cutting in head. I don't think. Most of the time I think people are upset because they feel it's you could have hit me. I don't care if you want to kill yourself, but don't, you know, fuck up my car in the meantime. It's just like you're in someone's personal space. So if you can do it where you're not right on top of them, I think that would be a lot better. As far as, you know, feelings towards you doing that at all. Some of my feelings as far as what I've learned and also personal experience. And, you know, maybe some things to look out for if you're also new like me. And if you want to follow along a bit, if you want to see what I might have picked up that you could find useful. Because I think in the long run, this whole motovlogging thing, especially if we're talking about something specific like riding tech, could be kind of a place to sort of have these videos. And it ends up being a place that other people later on down the road can see and review and